That's great.
Yeah, and Derek is on that too, by the way, so it'll get done.
Okay.
We are live at 4:59, I hope. Give it a minute to get everyone logged on. That should also say December 8th. Didn't change the date. Yeah. Okay, it is 5 o'clock, so we are going to start. Today we are talking about OSHA inspections, just kind of an overview on how those work, if they are to happen. OSHA typically does inspections without giving any advance notice. They'll just show up and start doing them. This is kind of the priority of order of inspections, so top priority is imminent danger situations or imminent danger situations. So those are hazards that can cause serious physical harm or death. These are obviously their top priority for inspections. They go through a list, and this is, there's something in a workplace that is going to cause physical danger to an employee working at that place. That's going to be at the top of the list to visit. If they come across these types of situations, compliance officers, the people who go and do the inspections, are going to ask companies to correct these hazards immediately or remove the workers that are in the hazardous areas immediately. Second on there, we have severe injuries and illnesses. If you remember from previous meetings, companies must report any work-related fatalities to OSHA within 8 hours, and all work-related inpatient hospitalizations, any amputations or losses of eye to OSHA within 24 hours. So if something like that happens in a workplace, that's another top priority of theirs to go and inspect the workplace. Number 3, we have worker complaints. They're a pretty high priority. So again, we talked about that in a previous safety meeting. If a worker does file one of those complaints, they always have the right to remain anonymous after they file that complaint. 4 on there, we have referrals. Federal, state, or local agencies, individuals, or organizations, or the media can refer a company for hazards. State or local agencies, individuals, or organizations. And those types of referrals are also considered for inspection. On number 5 there, we have targeted inspections. These are aimed at high hazard industries. So if you're automatically in a high hazard industry, you're automatically kind of higher up on their list to make sure they're checking for compliance. And workplaces that experience high rates of injuries and illnesses. Where do you think they come up with the idea that a workplace might have high rates of injuries? Where would they get that information? Yes, that's a question. It's not rhetorical. It's an actual question. Anybody?
Say again?
So, targeted inspections can be done from OSHA in workplaces that, not quite, Merv, workplaces that have high rates of injuries and illnesses. Where would they get that information that a workplace has high numbers of injuries or illnesses? Workers' comp, which means it was reported on a what?
Yes, that's, what the heck is the actual term for that? A safety, I can think of it, but it's not coming out, it's not clicking.
David, yes. David is online. It's our TRIR numbers, kind of, yep. So what we report to OSHA with our OSHA 300 and 300A logs. Again, those are done quarterly, and we have our annual numbers for those. All of those are reported again quarterly to OSHA. So if they get, all these quarterly incidents that we're consistently getting injuries and illnesses every quarter, high numbers of them, they're going to red flag us. We should probably go inspect that workplace and make sure these workers are protected. Yeah. So yeah, last we have follow-up inspections. So if they did a previous inspection and then you had some compliance issues or things like that, they're going to do follow-up inspections to make sure that you are working back up to compliance and fixing those hazards that were previously found. The different parts of inspections, On-site inspections have several parts. They begin with the compliance officer presenting their credentials, which includes both a photograph and a serial number for themselves. Companies, so if they came into Prairie, we would have the right as well to make sure that they do have an inspection warrant before actually entering the workplace. Then we go to the opening conference. That's when the officer is going to explain why the workplace was selected for inspection. Maybe it's too high with incidents, somebody referred them, something like that. Describe the scope of inspection, walk-around procedures, employee representation, and interviews. At this time, the company will select a representative to accompany the officer during their inspection. And if they're there because a worker filed a complaint, that worker also has the right to send an authorized representative to go along with them. After that opening conference, the officer and representatives will do a walk around of the workplace, inspecting for any hazards that can lead to worker injuries or illnesses. During this, the compliance officers can point out any violations that can be corrected immediately. Even if those can be fixed right there on the spot and you do it while they're present, those violations still have to be cited. But fixing them in that moment obviously shows good faith on the company's part. Then they'll review the injury and illness records, so our OSHA 300 logs, they'll review those, and then they'll also post their official OSHA poster again on the walls, which we have already. Oh, I'm going to throw in our safety focus phrase. It's actually a word this time, and it's surprise, because they can come at any time. Surprise. When officers do find violations of OSHA standards or any serious hazards, they issue what's called a citation. These need to be issued with the proposed penalties within 6 months of when the violation occurred. OSHA and the company can work out any settlement agreements to resolve matters and eliminate the hazards. Companies can also formally contest citations by sending written notices to the OSHA area director within 15 working days of receiving them. If the citations are not settled or contested or anything like that, then they become final order. And that is how an OSHA inspection works. Sal, you're up.
Well, okay. I picked communication, and the reason we did this is because a lot of times we think we're getting what we're the idea that we want to get across, and sometimes we're not. I see this a lot with the DVIRs. This is something we deal with every day. And again, here's a little breakdown of what we're talking about here. The act of transferring information from one person to another. Okay, how we accomplish that is up to us. That being said, emotion plays a big role in this too, and slowing the process down and thinking things through before we just react. A lot of times we get a call about things and we have no idea what you're talking about because usually there's a lot of stress and tension. So that's kind of what this is hoping to alleviate. The statement that was gave to us on this incident was, it feels funny. That's what was in the DVR. Driving the truck and it feels funny. I got a hold of the driver. I woke him up actually, and we spoke for about 10 minutes, breaking the situation down. And what felt funny, when it felt funny, where it felt funny, we were able to narrow it down to a brake spring. The one on the right side there is what it's supposed to look like. The one on the left is what his looked like. Again, DVR communication is imperative for clear and quality repair. And I say that because had this been handed off the shop, it would have taken quite a while, because having something feel funny is kind of a big gap to try and fill there. So it was very funny. Really. So far, what we've seen, the single biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it's taken place. Again, understand we're all human. So when we say things, you get it across, please verify that what you were trying to get across did get across. A good example, last night I was kind of in the midst of stuff, pretty busy, and I had a driver ask me if I could schedule his truck in. I'm not the person you go through for that. Since we're ahead of the game, I told him I would look into it and we probably would be able to, but I couldn't verify anything. And this morning I was asked if we got his truck in because it's parked out back ready to come in. So, again, we got it, not a big issue, but I want to alleviate this situation ahead of time before it comes down to wintertime and we have a lot of stuff going on. Again, there's a number to call specifically for setting things up for scheduling. It's not the shop phone, and it sure as hell ain't through me. So please don't do that. Again, the other breakdown I gave here was this is why assumption is the mother of all mistakes. A lot of times we hear that, well, I told him, I thought I talked to him, didn't I tell you about that? We need to verify things. That's solid communication. We might ruffle some feathers, but at least the idea is going to be there and we're going to know what we're talking about. So that's all I had. So if you have any questions, don't call me. Kidding.
Okay, next we have kudos. First we have Mark Fairley. On the night of 12/2, while on the Manning Federal 41 pad loading oil, Mark noticed the chemical containment for the water system leaking. Upon inspection, he saw that it had a slow but constant leak from the chemical barrel that would eventually leak the entirety into the containment. It's the situational awareness of our driver's professionalism that sets us apart from the rest. Although this isn't necessarily part of the oil buying and loading process, it is still something that helps the customer save headache and a possible spill. It's a great job in having the big picture while on pad, Mark. We appreciate you looking out for our customers and showing why we separate from the rest. And that was from Derek Huckins. Next, we have our elite employee of the quarter, and it is Danica Cross. Congratulations. We're going to clap and show you her. Yay. You're going to come on up to the front.
Yeah.
Are you read it? Yes. You want to come up, or can we?
Come on up.
You have to. You're elite.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure how all this worked.
It's like what elite people do.
Yeah. Go ahead and majority of people are here, so.
Right. Okay.
Yep,
Perfect.
right there.
All
Perfect. Right there.
Well, I just wanted to congratulate Danica on being an elite employee. And here's your. Yeah, we've got some new stuff happening now.
Yeah, I can talk about that real quick, guys.
You do that, and then I'll do this.
Sure. So we're going to change things up a little bit on the elite deal, guys. We're going to first off limit the winner every quarter to one. Kind of feel like we lose the eliteness if there's multiple winners each quarter. So each winner will continue to get $1,000. So congratulations, Danica.
Thank you.
And then we're also going to have a perpetual plaque that lists all the previous winners, starting with Danica. I know there's been a lot of previous winners, and so if we were to list all those, we would lose space on this plaque pretty quickly. So we'll start with Danica. That's not taking away anything from any of the previous winners, but we'll start fresh with Q3, and then we'll fill it up moving forward. And then last thing, we'll take a picture, if it's okay with the winner, and post it on our social media page on LinkedIn with the plaque, and embarrass them that way.
And then also, all the other nominees will still get $25 recognition just for being nominated.
Thanks, LaDonna. So, yeah, anybody that's nominated will also get 25 Prairie points. I encourage everybody to, if you have points, please use them as soon as possible. There's really good stuff on that RMI website, so I encourage everybody to use up their points.
And these points for the nominees will go out tomorrow, I promise.
Yep.
Hey, you're getting lots of congratulations from your fellow employees
Yeah.
online
Thanks,
as well.
everybody.
So we'll post the perpetual plaque and the picture down right when you walk in so our customers can see that. And then we'll start implementing this today, and that'll be kind of what we're doing every quarter moving forward.
Did you want to touch on people participating in the nomination?
Yeah, I just generally speaking, please continue to nominate your peers. It's very awesome when you're nominated by your peers. So we've got a lot of really great, hardworking people, and to recognize that and be recognized by your coworkers is really amazing. So this is a good program that we want to continue.
And so far this quarter, for the fourth quarter, I believe I have 2 nominations, and we have 3 weeks left in the quarter, so please
Would you like
nominate your coworkers.
to touch on the difference between kudos and elite nominations?
Yeah, Ladani, there's a specific way to nominate for the elite employee, correct?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And I will send out another mass email with the link to the electronic form. So it's extremely simple. You don't even have to write it up. You can just type it in and submit the link. So.
Yep.
All right, and I was going to read the nomination. It was from Josh Cunliffe. Sometimes it's easy to overlook people who quietly and consistently do a great job do a great job day in and day out. And Danica has for several years now. She has a great grasp of what's doable in 12 versus 14 hours and what's not, and doesn't stack trucks up at wells or lax so we stay productive. For not being a driver, she has an impressive knowledge of the field. For example, knows what wells are problem wells for water or inaccessible in bad weather, and sometimes even has backup plans for these scenarios. Danica definitely is an asset in the dispatch office and is extremely helpful for us drivers. And
Yeah, that's awesome.
I had a few things to say myself. I'd like to congratulate you on getting the award. Danica is an amazing person to work with. She has always been a team player and puts together spreadsheets, logs, cheat sheets to help her teammates to succeed. She is attentive to the drivers at night and keeps an eye out for the new drivers that have a hard time figuring out where leases are in the dark, which is not an easy thing to do. She works in a professional and positive manner and has played a huge role in training other dispatchers for our team. Danica is productive and efficient in her routing to help the drivers and the company make money. Congratulations.
Yeah, great job,
You
guys.
deserve it.
Okay. Last thing is operations. Jason.
Yes.
Yes.
Get out of there. All
Find
right.
yourself up there.
Oh yeah, ugly
I'll
enough.
go over the benefit.
There we go. That'll work.
All right, one thing I want to bring up, we're starting these flowbacks. We got one on navigation, and we've got the other one down on Walker Creek for the SHU downs. Walker Creek, I noticed today, the ground is very soft. The roadway going in, and it's washboarding really bad. With that, I advise you trucks that are going out there to those locations to please turn on your power divider when you hit that gravel. That'll keep your truck more stable and hopefully prevent more breakdowns on the trucks as far as drivetrain and suspension goes. You get oncoming traffic. I ask you guys to please slow down and be courteous to the other people. There's a lot of ranchers out there and they don't hesitate to report. Just be courteous, be respectful. Another thing is going to be flowback etiquette. I want to make sure that the drivers are all in compliance when they go on location. Devin is possibly going to require the drivers to wear masks if they're going to be around any of the flowback operators. Otherwise, socially distance, stay 6 feet apart. But we're not sure if that's going to happen or not. And we're also going to have you guys wearing safety vests out there on location. We do have those available if you need them. But that's going to be something to protect yourselves and others around you because we're going to have double duty doing water and oil. There's a lot of equipment still running around on location. I want everybody safe and to go home. With that, pumper ask questions, jobs for you guys to do while you're out there. Please be courteous, be respectful to them because they have a job to do as well. Let's show the Prairie Pride, do what they need. Obviously, if it's something unsafe, there will be a supervisor on location. Make sure that it's addressed and handled accordingly. Don't be afraid to use your stop work authority. But let's make these guys proud. That way they call us continually. That's all I have.
Yeah, in addition to debit and navigation, we just caught word today that we're likely to get a Samson starting mid-month, like around the 16th.
Right.
That's work that we haven't got before, so it's good to see some customers coming our way.
Good.
Yep.
Great. Last thing here, benefit deadline is tomorrow. That is your last day. Let me read this from Kim for you. Yes, you have to go in and do them even if you are keeping everything the same. Yes, you have to go in and do them if you are a new employee and just signed up for benefits before this. Yes, you have to do them if you have an HSA and even if you don't. You need to go in and confirm and waive all your benefits and designate your beneficiary. Okay, tomorrow's the deadline to do that. If you don't do it by tomorrow, you don't get them. Or they stay the same, which is fine. But I know the HSA is the biggest problem. I believe Kim's not in here. But if you have an HSA now and you don't do anything with your HSA, if you don't go in there and accept everything, you don't get your HSA again.
You'll lose it.
You will lose it. So, go do that. That is all we have for this week. Any questions, comments, concerns? I left this over here. No. Okay. Have a safe week, everyone. We will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
There you go.